The responsibility for carrying out many of these procedures rests with the individual. This means you, and every person employed by, assigned, or detailed to the agency, must assume the responsibility for protecting classified material. Included in your responsibilities are, challenging visitors in operational areas, determining need to know, limiting classified conversations to approved areas, following established blocking and checking procedures, properly using the secure and non-secure telephone systems, correctly wrapping and packaging classified data for transmittal, and placing classified waste in burned bags. The NSA badge. Even before you enter an NSA facility, you have a constant reminder of security: the NSA badge. Every person who enters an NSA installation is required to wear an authorized badge. To enter most NSA facilities, your badge must be inserted into an access control terminal at a building entrance, and you must enter your personal identification number, PIN, on the terminal keyboard. In the absence of an access control terminal, or when passing an internal security checkpoint, the badge should be held up for viewing by a security protective officer. The badge must be displayed at all times while the individual remains within any NSA installation. NSA badges must be clipped to a beaded neck chain. If necessary for the safety of those working in the area of electrical equipment or machinery, rubber tubing may be used to insulate the badge chain. For those agency personnel working in proximity to other machinery or equipment, the clip may be used to attach the badge to the wearer's clothing, but it must also remain attached to the chain. After you leave an NSA installation, remove your badge from public view, thus avoiding publicizing your NSA affiliation. Your badge should be kept in a safe place which is convenient enough to ensure that you will be reminded to bring it with you to work. A good rule of thumb is to afford your badge the same protection you give your wallet or your credit cards. Do not write your personal identification number on your badge. If you plan to be away from the agency for a period of more than 30 days, your badge should be left at the main visitor control center which services your facility. Should you lose your badge, you must report the facts and circumstances immediately to the Security Operations Center, SOC, 963 3371 S/688 6911B, so that your badge PIN can be deactivated in the access control terminals. In the event that you forget your badge when reporting for duty, you may obtain a non-retention temporary badge at the main visitor control center which serves your facility after a coworker personally identifies your enter clearance has been verified. Your badge is to be used as identification only within NSA facilities or other government installations where the NSA badge is recognized. Your badge should never be used outside of the NSA or other government facilities for the purpose of personal identification. You should obtain a Department of Defense identification card from the Civilian Welfare Fund, CWF, if you need to identify yourself as a government employee when applying for government discounts offered at various commercial establishments. Your badge color indicates your particular affiliation with NSA and your level of clearance. Listed below are explanations of the badge colors you are most likely to see. Green, fully cleared NSA employees and certain military assignees. Orange, or gold, fully cleared representative of other government agencies. Black, fully cleared contractors or consultants. Blue, employees who are cleared to the secret level while awaiting completion of their processing for full TS/C clearance. These limited interim clearance (LIC) employees are restricted to certain activities while inside a secure area. Red, clearance level is not specified, so assume the holder is uncleared. Fully cleared status means that the person has been cleared to the top secret (TS) level and indoctrinated for special intelligence (C). All badges with solid color backgrounds, permanent badges, are kept by individuals until their NSA employment or assignment ends. Striped badges, non-retention badges, are generally issued to visitors and are returned to the security protective officer upon departure from an NSA facility. Area control. Within NSA installations there are generally two types of areas, administrative and secure. An administrative area is one in which storage of classified information is not authorized, and in which discussions of a classified nature are forbidden. This type of area would include the corridors, restrooms, cafeterias, visitor control areas, credit union, barbershop, and drugstore. Since uncleared, non-NSA personnel are often present in these areas, all agency personnel must ensure that no classified information is discussed in an administrative area. Classified information being transported within agency facilities must be placed within envelopes, folders, briefcases, etc. to ensure that its contents or classification markings are not disclosed to unauthorized persons, or that materials are not inadvertently dropped en route. The normal operational workspaces within an NSA facility are designated secure areas. These areas are approved for classified discussions and for the storage of classified material. Escorts must be provided if it is necessary for uncleared personnel, repairmen, etc., to enter secure areas, and all personnel within the areas must be made aware of the presence of uncleared individuals. All unknown, unescorted visitors to secure areas should be immediately challenged by the personnel within the area, regardless of the visitor's clearance level, as indicated by their badge color. The corridor doors of these areas must be locked with a deadbolt, and all classified information in the area must be properly secured after normal working hours or whenever the area is unoccupied. When storing classified material, the most sensitive material must be stored in the most secure containers. Deadbolt keys for doors to these areas must be returned to the key desk at the end of the workday. For further information regarding secure areas, consult the Physical Security Division, M51, or your staff security officer. Items treated as classified. For purposes of transportation, storage and destruction, there are certain types of items which must be treated as classified even though they may not contain classified information. Such items include carbon paper, VU-graphs, punched machine processing cards, punched paper tape, magnetic tape, computer floppy disks, film, and used typewriter ribbons. This special treatment is necessary since a visual examination does not readily reveal whether the items contain classified information. Prohibited items. Because of the potential security or safety hazards, certain items are prohibited under normal circumstances from being brought into or removed from any NSA installation. These items have been grouped into two general classes. Class I prohibited items are those which constitute a threat to the safety and security of NSA/CSS personnel and facilities. Items in this category include A. Firearms and ammunition. B. Explosives, incendiary substances, radioactive materials, highly volatile materials, or other hazardous materials. C. Contraband or other illegal substances. D. Personally owned photographic or electronic equipment including microcomputers, reproduction or recording devices, televisions or radios. Prescribed electronic medical equipment is normally not prohibited, but requires coordination with the Physical Security Division, M51, prior to being brought into any NSA building. Class II prohibited items are those owned by the government or contractors which constitute a threat to physical, technical, or tempest security. Approval by designated organizational officials is required before these items can be brought into or removed from NSA facilities. Examples are A. Transmitting and receiving equipment. B. Recording equipment or in media. C. Telephone equipment and attachments. D. Computing devices and terminals. E. Photographic equipment and film. A more detailed listing of examples of prohibited items may be obtained from your staff security officer or the Physical Security Division, M51. Additionally, you may realize that other seemingly innocuous items are also restricted and should not be brought into any NSA facility. Some of these items pose a technical threat, others must be treated as restricted since a visual inspection does not readily reveal whether they are classified. These items include A. Negatives from processed film, slides, VU-graphs. B. magnetic media such as floppy disks, cassette tapes, and VCR videotapes. C. Remote control devices for telephone answering machines. D. Pagers. Exit inspection. As you depart NSA facilities, you will note another physical security safeguard: the inspection of the materials you are carrying. This inspection of your materials, conducted by security protective officers, is designed to preclude the inadvertent removal of classified material. It is limited to any articles that you are carrying out of the facility and may include letters, briefcases, newspapers, notebooks, magazines, gym bags, and other such items. Although this practice may involve some inconvenience, it is conducted in your best interest, as well as being a sound security practice. The inconvenience can be considerably reduced if you keep to a minimum the number of personal articles that you remove from the agency. Removal of material from NSA spaces. The agency maintains strict controls regarding the removal of material from its installations, particularly in the case of classified material. Only under very limited unofficial circumstances classified material be removed from agency spaces. When deemed necessary, specific authorization is required to permit an individual to hand-carry classified material out of an NSA building to another secure area. Depending on the material and circumstances involved, there are several ways to accomplish this. A courier badge authorizes the wearer, for official purposes, to transport classified material, magnetic media, or Class II prohibited items between NSA facilities. These badges, which are strictly controlled, are made available by the Physical Security Division, M51, only to those offices which have specific requirements justifying their use. An annual security pass may be issued to individuals whose official duties require that they transport printed classified materials, information storage media, or Class II prohibited items to secure locations within the local area. Materials carried by an individual who displays this pass are subject to spot inspection by security protective officers or other personnel from the Office of Security. It is not permissible to use an annual security pass for personal convenience to circumvent inspection of your personal property by perimeter security protective officers. If you do not have access to a courier badge and you have not been issued an annual security pass, you may obtain a one-time security pass to remove classified materials, magnetic media, or admit or remove prohibited items from an NSA installation. These passes may be obtained from designated personnel in your work element who have been given authority to issue them. The issuing official must also contact the Security Operations Center (SOC) to obtain approval for the admission or removal of a Class I prohibited item. When there is an official need to remove government property which is not magnetic media, or a prohibited or classified item, a one-time property pass is used. This type of pass, which is not a security pass, may be obtained from your relevant custodial property officer. A property pass is also to be used when an individual is removing personal property which might reasonably be mistaken for unclassified government property. This pass is surrendered to the security protective officer at the post where the material is being removed. Use of this pass does not preclude inspection of the item at the perimeter control point by the security protective officer or security professionals to ensure that the pass is being used correctly. External protection of classified information. On those occasions when an individual must personally transport classified material between locations outside of NSA facilities, the individual who is acting as the courier must ensure that the material receives adequate protection. Protective measures must include double wrapping and packaging of classified information, keeping the material under constant control, ensuring the presence of a second appropriately cleared person when necessary, and delivering the material to authorized persons only. If you are designated as a courier outside the local area, contact the Security Awareness Division, M56, for your courier briefing. Even more basic than these procedures is the individual security responsibility to confine classified